10XL 92.5 FM.
On Sunday, we get rain and London-type weather on a Monday. It's kind of a recurring theme around here, and why would we want it any other way, especially during Christmas week right here in Duval. Ballou in 4 to 6 along with Hayes Carline, JJ LaSalva. Merry Christmas, Hayes Carline.
Merry Christmas. So good to see you guys.
Woo!
I'm
It's
ready.
A great time of year.
I'm ready. I'm ready to put out the cookies and the milk for
Santa?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he has a fantastic trip.
Santa's got a wooden leg because he just
yeah.
pounds. He pounds milk. He crushes milk.
That's magic.
And, with the cookies and all of that, it's such a great time of year.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it and can't wait. It's hard to believe tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I don't know whether it was like how the calendar stacked up this year, but every holiday snuck up on me, and like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and now Christmas. I don't know whether sometimes you lose a week. It's like football season where sometimes you get like 2 byes in a football season. So I don't know what
Good
happened,
point.
but it's like you blinked and it's here. Here we go.
One of my ex-girlfriends had a paid vacation day on Groundhog Day. And
That's nice.
that appears to be the Jaguars every Sunday and Monday. Yeah. It is the same old. I think.
Well, when there's no accountability, why would you change anything?
Well, Dewey expressed some accountability yesterday.
Yeah.
Andrew Wingard.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a little bit. He's
for
nowhere,
the staff.
He's nowhere near a headline story.
Right.
I mean, he's kind of a thumbnail. We'll get to him in a little bit.
Winger's hilarious because he thinks he's Ed Reed, which I kind of respect. But yeah, that was.
I'm a baller,
that was
man.
Interesting.
I'm a baller.
I'm a starter in this league.
Yeah, if you
Are
missed
you
it,
now?
If you missed it, Andrew Wingard fired the entire coaching staff yesterday in Las Vegas. It's about time.
I am going to start politicking, doing whatever I can do, whatever strings I can pull to make Dewey Wingard the first executive vice president of football operations as a player.
I think
he can handle both roles.
I was going to say player coach. I mean, Ted Williams did it. Pete Rose did it.
Pete Rose, yeah.
Bill Russell did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No one's ever done it in football. Maybe we can go back to the day of Otto Graham and stuff like that. Maybe Paul Hornung had to have done it or someone along those lines. But I don't know. Wingard could get that vote. In my opinion, yesterday's loss was the worst one of the season because the Raiders are awful.
They're an expansion level.
What a terrible football team the Las Vegas Raiders are.
Yeah, it's Brock Bowers and 52 guys that shouldn't be in the league.
Is incredible.
I mean,
special.
he's unbelievable.
Yeah, Caleb on Chaison's like a top 5 player for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, it's remarkable. I was really surprised at how the game went in terms of the end result, just because. I mean, again, just from I still think the Jaguars have talent. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's that we've covered a lot of Jaguar teams where we knew they were not playing with even close to a nice hand
this
of players.
Team beats the Mike Mularkey team by 14
without
points.
a doubt, and I think any Gus Bradley team, it's a talented team. There's just no edge. There's no passion. They're a complete joke schematically on both sides of the football. The coordinators, this will be the last time either one of these guys gets to call themselves a coordinator in the NFL. And it's the last time the head coach, who does have a Super Bowl, but it's the last time anybody's going to hand Doug Peterson the keys to anything. And obviously we know about the front office, and that needs to be changed over. It's just so in dire need of a clean sweep. I know we differ on this. I think it's coming, but it will be amazing to see if in 2 weeks, it should be 2 weeks from today. The countdown is 14 days from right now. 14. If you do not have changes in the next 14 days, then I really, really, really feel sorry.
It's like a second Christmas.
Absolutely.
Black Monday.
Yes.
Okay. And differ, you mean with bulky?
Yes.
I hope I'm wrong.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hope people are like, can you believe Ballou said Bulky's going to start? I hope people
you can't
come at me from every direction and say, you do not know what you were talking about. See, Bulky was fired.
Sure. You can't discount it because of what we know about Shad as an owner. So you can't discount it. But I can't imagine he's going to be able to sell a ticket if he brings Trent Baalke back.
Right.
I just can't imagine it.
No.
I mean, most general managers in the NFL.
Who gets to him?
It's a great question.
I mean, who's going to tell Shad Khan you've got to make a change? Who does he listen to?
I mean, I think at the very least he'll listen to the ticket office, who's going to tell him, look, no one is buying these things. So, that would be my hope. But you're dead on about he needs a brain trust.
He needs to buy some friends. He needs to buy an inner circle.
And he doesn't have it. And that is a problem because Shad doesn't pretend to be a football guy, which is a strength of his. But at the same time, it's like, okay, but you also can't abdicate either. And he's been on guard about that. He's even brought up that word in press conferences before. There's a thin line between, being hands-on and then abdicating responsibility as owner. Obviously, he hires people. He lets them do their jobs. But at this point, there's no way you can possibly spin it from a business decision to bring Trent Baalke back. Most NFL general managers are kind of anonymous. Most casual fans don't really know who their team's GM is. If you're a diehard, you'll know who the GM is. But for the most part, the GM exists in kind of an anonymous world. Trent Baalke is like the face of the problem to this fan base. Yeah. So I don't see any way you can sell firing Doug Peterson, who has no chance of being back here. No chance of being back here.
Right.
Baalke has a chance.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how Shad Khan can expect anything but tremendous apathy from his partners, from his fan base, if he elects to keep Trent Baalke. This all has to go.
I haven't met anyone yet who was in support of Trent Baalke. I've never seen anything like this. There's always a chorus of people who want to change regardless of what is happening. I also have witnessed this forever, and I've always kind of said, yeah, right, to fans, the listeners who say, that's it, I'm not coming back. I've been a season ticket holder forever. I'm not going to purchase them again if this doesn't happen, if Dave Caldwell's still here, if Gus Bradley's still here. And I'm always like, yeah, right. I mean, this is a one-horse town. Just wait until the dog days of the summer go by. You'll be back. For the first time ever, I almost believe that there's truth to this when it comes to Trent Baalke. So the Jaguars now have lost 7 of 8. They're 2-9 in one-score games, which just reeks of being an awfully coached team. If you get blown out in this league, what that says is your opponent is a much better franchise. If you are 2-9 in one-possession games, what that says, in my opinion, this is a really bad coaching staff.
Look at third down. I mean, that's all you need to see to know if this team is coached well or coached poorly. I've never seen a discrepancy like this. On offense, they're 35.6% on third down.
And that's actually gotten better.
And that's improved.
Yes.
Defensively, they're 43.4% allowed. That's a difference of nearly 8%. Yeah. Just to put that in perspective, the Tennessee Titans, who I think have a terrible head coach. I mean, I think Callahan could easily be one and done in Nashville.
Okay.
And I don't think the Titans have the talent the Jaguars have. The Titans, so I'm comparing the Jaguars to a team that I think has a terrible head coach and less talent.
Yep.
And on third down, they're 37.1% on offense and they're 39.9% on defense. That's not great.
No.
But that's a spread of about less than 3 points. This team, it's 8 points difference on the biggest down in football. And what does that tell you? That tells you that the opponent constantly knows what the offense is going to be doing, and it constantly knows how the defense is going to try and stop them.
The only thing they're consistent about is they're 27th in both. Offense and defense out of the 32 teams in the NFL. But you're right, an 8-point difference, 35-6 to 43-4. And, we've seen it all year. It's been an ongoing situation. And listen, fans losing is part of the deal. But I cannot remember even getting screwed in 96 when the lights went out for 10 minutes in Foxborough, or the Miles Jack wasn't down, or losing 3 times to Tennessee. I mean, all of the heartache that this franchise has gone through, you feel bad for them. But this year was such a gut punch, Hayes, because they never got one opportunity to enjoy this year.
No.
Okay? Before you knew what happened, the Jaguars dropped the 0-4 on you. They just came out and said, hey, Duval, hey, the great fans of Jacksonville, watch this. We're going to take you through September and go 0-4. Your season is shattered, okay? Shattered before it even gets – and to see how they hold on to this week after week, and it's the same old. We got to clean it up. We got to get better at this. It's so beyond annoying, and that's why this season has been so incredibly long. Thankfully, there's only 2 games left.
Yeah, I mean, even the Raiders gave their fans hope through September. They were 2-2. Then they lost 10 in a row, and then they beat the Jaguars yesterday. This season for Jaguar fans has been a gut punch, followed by a forearm to the jaw, followed by taking a sledgehammer and hitting you in the sternum when you're on the ground. I mean, there's been nothing redeemable about it from a wins-loss perspective. Brian Thomas Jr. has been fantastic. I mean, he has been a superstar rookie, and hopefully that will continue for many more years to come. So it's been fun watching Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah. But how pathetic is that? Mm-hmm. That there's literally one thing that I can say gets me excited to watch this team. One player of the lot of them. And it's I mean, again, at least in like 2013, there's been, like the Urban Meyer year, you kind of realized pretty early that was going to be a disaster. So, like, your expectations weren't super high. That was one thing that Dewey Wingard said to the media yesterday that I fully agree with. Because he was asked, you've been here for a lot of these bad years.
I love this answer.
How does this one stand out? And he said, the hype. The fact that we had 2 consecutive winning seasons, still a young team, had added some pieces in free agency that you thought would be good. It's been the worst free agent class that I can remember.
I agree with that.
And the good news is you can't cut any of them and save money. I mean, so
you can cut Darby.
You can cut
Ronald Darby, who's inactive.
But yeah, I mean, and they could cut an Armstead, but you're going to have to post June 1st. It's going to have to be like what the Falcons are going to have to do with Kirk Cousins. Yeah. I mean, so it doesn't help you. It only hurts you from a cap standpoint. But, I mean, it's just been it has been embarrassing, incredibly disappointing. But, again, this is what I would say. I do think with the right GM and coach, it can be turned around next year. This is a bad division. It's still going to be a bad division next year. I don't believe in C.J. Stroud nearly as much as I did a year ago.
I'd agree with that.
I still don't believe in Anthony Richardson, even though he might be showing some signs. And Tennessee, we know they're headed to a reset at that position.
That's a bad organization.
So you can win this division next year at 9-8. Certainly 10-7 gives you a chance. And with the talent that they have here, I am convinced now Shad's got to get it right, which that's been a massive issue.
Yeah, what confidence do you have that he's going to get it right?
Well, that's why he's got to write the biggest check he's ever written to go get a GM and get a coach.
You've
got to win this. This carousel has got to be all Jaguars. And Shad Khan's got to say, I can't retread this anymore. I can't hire the young, up-and-coming, defensive-minded coordinator. No, you've got to go get the best coordinator on the market in Ben Johnson, or go get a coach like Mike Vrabel that has proven he can win at this level. That's it. If this search ends up being, and it's nothing against these guys. These guys might be great one day, and I know people like them. And like I said, they might be great one day. But if this search turns into a Liam Cohen or a Drew Petzig, guys that have barely been in this league, you're begging for more misery.
Front Bucky's got a short list. Okay, Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Nate Hackett.
Nate Hackett would be fantastic.
Nate Hackett. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. And listen, who do you trust right now? Look at the hires that Shad Khan has made at both general manager and at head coach. And it has been a disaster after a disaster after a disaster. It has been just awful. Okay, Marone had the one good year. Doug Peterson had the good second half in 2022. But outside of that, it has been just incredibly bad. And again, where is the faith that he can lean on someone? Look at what the Jets have done now for well over a month. They went out and brought in Spielman and Tannenbaum, former general managers, and said, get ahead of this. Start interviewing these guys. They've already interviewed 4 general managers, where the Jaguars have done nothing. They haven't done a thing. You still don't know if Bulky's going to be the guy or not be the guy. Now, the Jets are a joke. They haven't made it to the playoffs in 14 years. That's not a great example, but at least it feels like they're finally trying to change things the right way. So, I don't know. We got a lot to do here over the next couple of hours. We're going to try to, look back and also, more importantly, look forward.
I mean, we'll help Shad. Mm-hmm. Just ask us.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help.
Right.
I don't need a consultant fee.
He's so out of touch.
Just let's have a 30-minute meeting. And I can give you a path to this. Rick Ballou and I can give you a path to this. It is not that difficult. It is a game. This is not nuclear warfare. Right. This is not stationing troops around the globe. This is not, this is a game that is not that difficult to decipher.
I have no idea how many businesses he owns. Okay. I know he's worth $12.2 billion. I have to believe there's been a lot of businesses that he's owned that were going sideways. And what did he do? He had people who made significant changes to either get rid of that company or rebuild it and make it successful. He has not done that here, yet he bought it for $770, and it's now worth more than $4 billion. If that's the bottom line for Shad, he could care less about anything else. These people don't want to hear that. They want to hear that Shad really wants a winner. And it goes again out to the simple aspect of we don't know who his inner circle is. And that's the problem. Everyone has to have it. Jerry Jones has it. Robert Kraft has it. Mark Davis has it. Certainly, he just brought in Tom Brady now to be a big part of it. And we don't know. I heard Bill Polian years ago. I heard Tom Coughlin a little bit before Coughlin actually got here. But have you ever heard of another name? Someone tried to tell me Tony Dungy once, and I was like, really? Have you ever heard another name who's part of the inner circle?
Yeah, he'll reach out to people, but to your point, he needs somebody that's eyes and ears in the building all the time. Not, hey, let me talk to an old coach who maybe has watched one Jaguar game in the last 4 years to get his opinion on what we should do. It needs to be – he had the right model in 17. This organization needs Shad Khan as owner, and he's a good owner in terms – I do think he wants to win, and he's willing to spend. But he needs an EVP. Yeah. Now that EVP I don't think needs to be a decision maker at all, but that EVP needs to be able to tell him this is how the coach and GM came to their decisions here. This is who was right. This is who was wrong. I was in all the meetings. I'm in this building all the time, and this is how it was laid out. Yeah. And this is where our problems lie. And that's the organizational flow that I think would work best for the franchise. Right. But other than I think he made a mistake thinking, well, it didn't work because with Tom Coughlin, so I'm not going to go back to that. Well, it was working. It just, unfortunately, you hired an old school football coach who still wanted to set the tone for the organization from that role and wanted to set it in an era that you couldn't do without obviously getting in trouble with the union. Mm-hmm. But that's the right organization.
That was the right approach.
For
it
the
just
Jaguars.
Backfired. Yeah.
Yes.
He was, the curmudgeon, and he had 2 bad contracts that he was a part of with Blake Bortles and Nick Foles. And then, the team didn't like him. They came right out and said it. Jalen Ramsey said it in that podcast. They hated him. But even though it was Dave Caldwell, as we found out later.
The players really shouldn't have. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that situation in Houston.
Right.
That was Dave Caldwell who blew up at Jalen Ramsey.
That's right. But the EVP, if Shad goes down that road again, which I think he should, the players should barely see the guy or girl, whoever it is. but should barely see him. Like, it should not be somebody
But they should fear a jailhouse snitch. They should fear that if we do something wrong, this guy, it's open to everyone, and they know he's going to go tell the owner. You understand what I'm saying about it? And that's not the best description of jailhouse snitch,
right.
But he has got to be the guy who has the respectability from Shad Khan, the head coach and the general manager, that it goes both ways. If something's happening here, you got to tell the other side. If something's happening there, you got to turn around and tell the other side. And, you know, you can't just hire someone to do that. It's got to be someone that is respected by all parties.
Absolutely. And whatever happens from here on, Shad cannot have a system where the head coach and GM report directly to him. It does not work. And it doesn't promote harmony at all.
Shad's out on his boat.
Right.
You know, he's on the way to freaking, London or whatever. I mean, come on.
I saw we were 3 of 15 on third down. That's pretty good, right? We got those 3 third down conversions.
All right, opening comments today and every day or into the night when I'm typically with you from 6 to 8 are brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. They have now introduced the newest member of the family, Dr. John Hunt. And he is a general ophthalmologist and has all sorts of experience in cosmetic eyelid surgery, obviously cataract surgery, joining Dr. Neil Shmunez and Dr. Catherine Shmunez. Just ask yourself right now, ugly day outside, right? Kind of wet, maybe not raining in your part of the town, but it's dreary out there. How are your eyes? How much worse are they late compared to when you get up in the morning? Fatigue is normal for us all. How about laser eye surgery? How about 20/20 for the rest of your days? If it's more significant than that and you think you got a problem, maybe a cataract issue, make an appointment today. Sit down and talk with the good folks over at Shmunez. They may have a remedy for you where surgery is not needed. But if it is, they'll sit and answer all your questions before they perform cataract surgery. I had surgery 8.5 years ago in my right eye, performed by Dr. Neil Shmunez. Simply said, they are the best around. Check them out today. Go to Shmunez Vision online. Also go to Instagram. Get all of their testimonials at Shmunez Vision. Hayes Carline is here. JJ LaSelva is here. My name is Rick Ballou. Thrilled to be with you. The Jaguars let one get away. We're going to try to fix the problem. Glad to have you with us.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Good drives bring more points. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game.
Great job.
On 1010XL. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a 50% bump on your first deposit. For a limited time, MyBookie will add 50% to your initial deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 1-point favorite over the Titans. The over-under is 40.5 points. Denver is a 3-point road underdog at Cincinnati. Washington, a 4-point favorite against the visiting Falcons. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a 50% bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the final days to get inflation fighter savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. The final days to save thousands with just $500 down and $288 per month for a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $500 down and $388 per month. Don't wait. The final days of inflation fighter savings are here. So get to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Shop in person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now now, you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Enjoy their famous wings, new cocktails, and happy hour deals at the perfect spot to catch all the football action. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
You scaled the sheer cliff face, battling frostbite, running low on oxygen. The wind pierced your skin, and every inch was agony. You reached heights no other human had before, while getting nowhere at airport security. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover best-selling action titles on Audible.
Bowl season brings the holiday feeling.
Deck the halls, deck the halls.
When you play 1010XL's Ultimate Bowl Challenge, you've got the chance to win $1,000 in jewelry from Beard's Diamonds. Log on to 1010XL.com and start picking.
Our most popular meat combo is ready to grill this season. Pounds and pounds of marinated steak tips and chicken, fresh ground beef, and homemade sausage. Just ask for the sampler combo.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a professional stamp licker from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Martin Celery.
Oh, gosh. I can't wait to play, Bob.
Well, let's move things along. Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
Wait, but
That's right, Marty. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we've stocked up on the remaining inventory of low-cost 2024 model air conditioners. So you win. We're passing the savings on to you.
Can I answer a question first?
We need to make room for the 25s, so we're offering great deals on AC replacements while supplies last.
Could I spin the wheel at least? I've been practicing for a year.
With last-minute deals like this, there's no question that you are cool.
What'll I tell my kids?
There you go. Have a souvenir t-shirt.
Thanks.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, with you this week, tomorrow as well, Christmas Eve, then back on Friday. We'll all enjoy a very Merry Christmas, Wednesday and Thursday. Safe travels to you and yours. Want you to have a great time and enjoy yourself. Boy, this 4 to 6 shift, Hayes, this is going to throw a wrench into my Christmas shopping. I was planning on beginning it tomorrow.
I'm all done.
Are you?
Yeah, I've been done. And guess how many stores I went into?
If you're like me, zip. I get hives when I go to stores.
Yeah, zip. No shopping. Everything.
Just do it right online.
Everything online. Everything is. I'm all
Point
done.
and click.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It is.
It's been one of the best. Air conditioning is the greatest invention ever, in my opinion. The ability to online shop in my lifetime has been right up there with like HDTV And I mean, in terms of air conditioning was around before I was, before I was a kid. But in terms of things that have happened in my lifetime, the online shopping, not having to go into 6 different places to find one item, it's been phenomenal. I will never step foot in a department store again unless I'm just along for the ride with something. I mean, by my own accord, it will not happen.
You know, the first 18 years of my life, I had no air conditioning.
Really? Well, yeah.
Growing up in Boston, we had
Boston.
My parents lived in the same house for 57 years.
Yeah.
No AC.
Yeah.
Obviously heat.
Right.
But if it was hot, I'd crack the window.
When you were a kid, what would it get, like mid-80s?
No, get into the 90s.
Oh, it would.
In New England at night.
Okay.
But nothing was built back then with air conditioning. I mean, that's not rare to anyone listening, and I don't know if it was the same deal in the Midwest or but when we lose power, it's like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
No air conditioning.
Oh, air conditioning is whoever invented it. God bless you.
We're going to play some Dewey comments here in a moment because finally someone is upset visibly with this organization, and I think that's a good thing, and it's much needed. But let's spend a second here on Brian Thomas Jr. because you made a good point earlier. It's Ballou with Carline and J.J. LaSelva. This has been such a bright spot. 9 receptions, 132 yards yesterday, a touchdown. He has every Jaguars rookie record, 73 balls for 1,087 yards and 9 touchdowns. I mean, he's got an opportunity to put up more than 1,300 yards with two good games and go over 10 touchdown receptions. So what he has done, and what I love about this is it's not like he got off with that blazing start. Remember he dropped that first ball at the Miller Electric Center, and we were kind of like,
yeah, he was quiet.
Because the year before, Calvin Ridley had like maybe the best wide receiver training camp in the history of the Jaguars.
Yes.
And then Brian Thomas came in. It's like he dropped the ball, his first pass, and then the next day he dropped another one. And all of a sudden we're like, I don't know if he's got the route tree. We've just seen this evolve in 15 games. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, and then Tampa Bay came in and was like, who is this kid that we can't contain? Because it took him, about a week to get going, and he was quiet. But then Tampa Bay rolled in here for some joint practices, and Brian Thomas Jr. just scorched him.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were like, you have to obviously see it once you get into the regular season. But, I mean, it's been – I mean, to give him an A+ is too low. I mean, it's I've never seen anything like this in terms of a guy, particularly a guy that was selected outside of the top 20.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's 6th in receiving yards in the NFL. In the NFL,
right?
This kid is 6th in receiving yards, and he's tied for 5th in receiving touchdowns.
Right.
I mean,
and top 5 in average per.
Yeah. I mean, you would take what he's done this year, you would take for the next 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I mean, you hope and you assume he will get better and better and better as he keeps playing.
He's gotten better with Mac Jones as opposed to Trevor Lawrence. Now, it's twofold because of all the injuries.
Correct. Yeah, and that'll be the key when everybody's healthy and Ben Johnson is hopefully here. But is the coordination between Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. Because certainly, I mean, look, if you're Trevor Lawrence, you've got to be just over the moon excited about what this kid can be for you, in years moving forward. But yeah, I mean, his stats right now, when you look at the rookie years of CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, he's right there with them.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about him, and he seems like he's, a very humble, he's wired the right way, consummate pro kind of guy. I mean, just, I don't know that you could have drawn this one up any better.
No, it's been absolutely spectacular. And, I remember the first 4 games, JJ and I would do it just about every week. We would look at targets, and Gabe Davis was leading this organization in targets after the first month. And Brian Thomas Jr. was really down, and it didn't feel like Trevor had that relationship early on with the rookie. So I'm not going out on a limb here. This is Captain Obvious, but there is the expectations of what a Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. One-on-one deal could be. I felt like we only saw like 25% of it this year because of some of the reasons that we've given. Again, Mac Jones has gone to him, he went to him 14 times last week. He went to him 13 times yesterday, 9 of 13 receptions to target. So he's obviously becoming the most featured guy here offensively. And the most encouraging part of it is he's still not perfect. You know what I mean? He can become a better route runner. The hands let him down once yesterday. He's so good right now, but this is one of these players you can look at and say he's going to get even better.
The stat I love about Brian is, like we said, he's caught 9 touchdowns this year. As a team, they have 16. He's caught 9 of the 16 touchdown passes that this team has thrown. I mean, it's remarkable. And that's been the final phase of what has been an incredibly impressive rookie year is because of the injuries and because he's not playing with his starter. He's playing with a guy that I think at best is an average backup in this league in Mac Jones. So he has eclipsed every final wave. The final thing you could throw at Brian this year is, okay, no Christian Kirk, no Evan Ingram, no Gabe Davis. So now every defense knows you're the guy they've got to stop. And not that he's played fantastic defenses these last 2 weeks, but the Titans knew it, the Raiders knew it, and they could not slow him down. And that speaks to the final level of superstardom, because obviously these guys that we talk about, Chase and Lamb and Jefferson, every week, you know, they're the focus of the defense. It doesn't matter. They still have incredible production.
They still have great games.
And that's what you're seeing out of Brian, those early signs that even when the defense puts most of its resources towards him, they're still not able to slow him down.
You know, it's interesting that you say it that way because we see what defenses do that try to put their best personnel to slow down Brian Thomas Jr. And then you look at the game yesterday, and it's so simple for Jacksonville defensively. Just don't let Brock Bowers beat you. And they got Devin Lloyd and Foye Oluokun on them the majority of the time. And you can be on your 16th fall staff from the couch and say, why is Devin Lloyd on the best player on this team?
How much did you like it on the first snap where Andre Sisco runs into his own man on a 31-yard catch and run?
Oh, my God.
By Brock Bowers.
And that was Ventrell Miller he ran into because Miller actually had him in coverage, I believe.
Yeah, that was a good trendsetter for how the day was going to go.
Sisco's had a disastrous year.
It's really been poor. And, it's, again, and I'll give Brock Bowers credit. He makes catches for a big guy. It's amazing to me how he can catch a ball 6 inches off the ground in a full sprint. So his catch radius is incredible. I mean, he is a very gifted player.
He's special.
But
he's got a chance to be one of the greats to ever play that position.
But to your point, I mean, Jacoby Myers is the only thing else that even resembles a threat. How can Brock Bowers catch 11 passes for 99 yards on 13 targets? And then let's go into the whole, how do you let Aiden O'Connell, who is widely known as the most immobile quarterback in the NFL, and you allow him to run for a career-high amount of yardage? He somehow
looks like Matt Ryan a decade ago.
Yeah, he somehow gets away. Mason Smith played a good game.
He did play a good game.
But Aiden O'Connell somehow going backwards is able to complete a pivotal it wasn't even really an out route. He just threw it to the sideline because by that point the play was sort of just everybody was in a scramble. I mean, it's just this defense. It's like, how do you allow these things to happen?
And
his career-long rush, I believe, was 4 yards.
It was
going into this game. And if Aiden O'Connell had wanted to, I have no doubt he could have run for 70 yards yesterday.
I said Matt Ryan. It was actually Phillip Rivers. My apologies. Remember the Phillip Rivers wide open?
Oh, yeah.
Years ago when he was out in Los Angeles. All right, when we come back, let's bring in our buddy J.J. LaSelva. Also want you to hear Dewey. Okay, when Dewey speaks, we listen. Okay, he is the leader of this football team, and he popped off yesterday in Las Vegas. If you haven't heard this, you're in for a treat. The only issue I have is why not 2 months earlier did this actually take place. Granted, at that time, Andrew Wingard was still on the shelf. He was not available and playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but some very intriguing comments. We'll get to that on the other side.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you heard? Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are aiming to sell 1,000 vehicles this December. How? I've told my team to take all reasonable offers. We won't lose your business over price. With thousands of cars, trucks, and SUVs on the ground, all priced to sell, we guarantee the most money for your trade and the easiest car buying experience ever. I promise we ain't leaving nothing on the table. This is the absolute last weekend. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with our much-anticipated High Hands promotion, giving away over $330,000 in cash and prizes. The excitement continues to grow each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300, and the chance to set sail on a card player poker cruise. Explore all the excitement at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hacker here, and for the first time in nearly 20 years, I finally get to have a different resolution. Like most of you, mine was always to lose weight. I'd try something for a few weeks, maybe lose a pound or two, and then give up. Well, I tried. Starting the new year with Awaken 180 isn't a try. It's a sure thing. And why will you stick with it? Because instead of a pound or two, you'll see results right out of the gate. We all need motivation. After my first 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I was already down 30 pounds. Granted, I had a lot of weight to lose, but look at Dempsey, look at Matt Hayes. Those guys had results out of the gate too. Dempsey dropped 9 pounds his first week, Matt dropped 12 pounds. Regardless of the weight you need to drop, seeing those fast results will motivate you to reach your goal. Guys, girls, losing weight regardless of how many times you've tried is possible with Awaken 180. Make the sure bet and make 2025 the last time losing weight is your New Year's resolution. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's a sale so big, Santa wants to get in on it.
It's Beards Diamond's incredible 44th anniversary sale, held over till Christmas Eve. Everything store-wide is on sale, up to 44% off.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Any action?
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
That's a big redfish, guys.
With Captain Kevin Faber.
Oh, my gosh.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
All right, gang, I'm just going to level with you. Prosser here. There are not the problems associated with selling your home that you might think that there would be. There are solutions for sure. Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Who's they? It's Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. contrarian.com. Call Chad and Sandy. They're the agents I would call to sell my home. And by the way, potential problems you think you may have. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Chad and Sandy deliver with a promise. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. We got proof. David and Heather, Fox Ridge and Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights, closer to family and away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. It's all true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. It's that simple. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 904-414-6200.
Cigar smokers, All-Pro Lyman Leon Searcy here for my favorite spot, Cigars International. The Cigars International Superstore is now open at the Town Center, a massive 6,200 square feet with over 600 cigar brands, a full-service bar, and indoor and outdoor lounges with flat-screen TVs. Give their old-fashioned a try. It's the best that I've ever had. Follow on social for holiday specials and events. Cigars International is now open at the Town Center.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Safety Andrew Wingard expressed his frustrations in the locker room after Sunday's 19-14 loss to the Raiders, as he currently believes he's a true leader on this team and should be seeing more action.
I mean, I know for the guys that haven't been around, it's hard. And I've been through this stuff many times, and you just got to go play ball and know that your tape is your resume and everyone's watching the tape, and that's what you got to do. And it stinks, and I do everything in my power to scream at guys and cuss and say let's effing go, but it is what it is.
Wingard was injured for the first 10 weeks of the season and has been very limited in his snap count since he returned against Detroit, making his first tackle against the Raiders. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Honored to be with you. Hayes Carline is here. JJ LaSelva is here. Happy day before Christmas Eve, young man.
It's Festivus, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. One of my favorite Seinfeld episodes, The Strike. Everyone should watch it tonight. It's a great holiday.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it.
The airing of grievances, yes. And you guys did that for the first 2 segments. And it will continue throughout the rest of the show.
We tried to get happy with Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, we had about 5 minutes of, rose-colored glasses.
I'm not saying it was misplaced criticism. Our grievances. I'm glad it happened.
A guy who,
speaking of grievances,
right? A guy who really gushed out some interesting comments was Dewey. Andrew Wingard. Media scrum yesterday, including our own Mia O'Brien, caught up with the Jaguars' safety.
Felt like myself. That's what I do. I go out and ball. That's what I do.
Have you been on a pitch count, or have they just been limiting you defensively with snaps? Or
Just haven't been playing. And you see what happens when I play. So,
how difficult it is for this team to just gut through this grind. There's no big, huge carrot to play for. It's just pride at this point. And the effort's there, but the payoff has not been.
I mean, I know for the guys that haven't been around, it's hard. I've been through this stuff many times. And you just got to go play ball and know that your tape is your resume and everyone's watching the tape. And that's what you got to do. And it stinks. And I do everything in my power to scream at guys and cuss and say, let's effing go. But it is what it is.
This time of year, when your record's a record, do you find guys lose focus a little bit? I mean, the pre-snap penalty is a lot of offside stuff. I mean, is that a product of that a little bit?
I've seen that all year. I don't know if it's lack of discipline or what, but I've seen a lot of that throughout the year. So I don't think the record has anything to do with that.
We can't do much about your playing time, but you feel healthy enough to be playing more?
Hell yeah. Absolutely. I'm a starter in this league.
you mentioned, obviously, you've been through situations like this before. How is this one different, maybe 21 or 2020?
All the hype. new facility, made the playoffs, 9-8 2 years in a row. I would say that adds to the downfall, if you will.
You had conversations of why you're not getting more reps?
Nah, I just go about my business, put on my hard hat, and go to work.
Think you earned some more today?
We'll see.
Have you had conversations about not just the next few games, but where this organization has to go moving forward beyond even these next 2 weeks?
Have I had conversations? Yeah. No, that's way above my pay grade.
There's Dewey Wingard, obviously very unhappy with his staff, unhappy that he's not playing. But that interview really spoke volumes about what's going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars. First of all, you can hear in the background the players laughing moments after losing again. They don't care.
No.
They don't care. Doesn't mean they don't play hard for 60 minutes, but this has been my point, and it's the only thing that I've ever found. JJ and I talked about this last week. It's the only time I can ever remember really disagreeing with Nick Saban when Nick Saban said the players and the coaches care way more about winning than the fans do. He's dead wrong. The fans are carrying this loss day after day, week after week. That is moments after the game. Jaguar players are laughing in the locker room. The other side about this with Andrew Wingard is he's not that good, okay? He said that he is considered yelling and cussing or has yelled and cussed. You and I know, and if not, our listeners should know, and if not, this is the simple rule. In this league, they only listen to great football players. If you're an average player or a below average player like Andrew Wingard, falls on deaf ears.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Andrew Wingard has played 68 more defensive snaps this season than you and me. I mean, that he's never on the field. I mean, he played yesterday, but he's played 6.5% of the defensive snaps this season. He's not going to be in a position of leadership. That's in any walk of life. Like, sometimes it's hard. You can't really take our world and apply it to the sports world. It's hard, but in this case, you can. Every business, any place you've ever worked, there's a little bit of a hierarchy. It's unwritten. It's not spelled out. There's no depth chart. But if somebody was going to speak up, there's certain people that can do it, and certain people that it's going to not only not be received well, but it's going to be like almost comical.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of falls into that category. He has been here, for a while, but I don't think any of the players in the locker room care about that.
No.
They care about how much money do you make and how much do you play. Those are the guys that are going to have a voice. And again, I don't think it's a player's failure for this. I can see why they're checked out. Their defensive coordinator is, he's in over his head.
I'm shocked too.
Yeah,
I am really surprised by this, Hayes.
The only thing that I agree. I really liked what Ryan Nielsen had to say when he arrived, and I did think that Atlanta played probably better defensively than their personnel would indicate they should have last year. The only thing that gave me pause was when Doug fired Mike Caldwell after 2 years of being his defensive coordinator, and he was a first-time defensive coordinator. So Caldwell had done it for 2 years with the Jaguars, had never done it previously. I thought Doug would go and hire the grizzled defensive coordinator that's seen it all, that's in his 60s, that's been in the league for 30 years, Ron Rivera, a guy that may be a former head coach, somebody like that. And he went and hired somebody that was even more inexperienced than Mike Caldwell. And what's so striking is, as bad as the defense was last year, they were better statistically than this unit.
Far better.
Yeah, last year's unit was
27 takeaways.
Yeah, right.
This team hasn't had a takeaway in 6 games.
Yeah, they've got the fewest in the NFL by 3. They have 8 takeaways. Everyone else in the NFL has at least 11. But even in other categories, they were 22nd in yards allowed last year. Now they're last. They were 15th in interception rate. Now they're 29th. The sacks haven't changed much, but they were better last year. They were 27th in sack rate last year in terms of percentage. They're 30th this year. But the thing that was so striking, they were 8th on third down last year. So they were in the top quadrant in this league on third down, getting opponents off the field. that is completely falling apart.
they're 27th.
So, I mean, in looking at it, it's just been, and again, when in 14 days, when, we're, kind of giving the obituary on the Doug Peterson era here, I think that's got to be really high up in the conversation. And we all fixate on Press Taylor and delegating and the play calling, and I'm rightfully so, but an underlying failure that I think you can make every bit the case for why it didn't work for Doug Peterson in Jacksonville is his absolute lack of being able to find a competent defensive coordinator.
That's totally fair. And the more we push forward, if you haven't already gotten it, you fully understand how important coaching is in college football and in the NFL. It's incredible. I'm shocked by the demise of Ryan Nielsen. What an unbelievable first date. What an incredible impression. I mean, this was like the greatest thing ever. You got goo-goos and starry eyes, and it's like, that second date, instead of, just firing a burger and a Coke at her, it's like, hell no, this is going to be a steak dinner with wine and candlelight. And, I mean, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And then it just completely fell apart. But this man, and they all do it. They all win the press conference, albeit Mike Caldwell didn't necessarily win the press conference. I thought he looked almost scared and intimidated. But Ryan Nielsen told everyone exactly what they wanted to hear. I came in here with JJ. I'm like, this guy's going to bring it all, including the kitchen sink. Yeah. He's man-to-man. But remember how messed up it was when we were talking man-to-man, 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 and then Trent Baalke tells us, well, it's really a zone defense.
Right.
And we walked out of there and we're like, that's exactly what happened to this football team. Yeah. The confusion of being told we're man-to-man by him and by what he did in Atlanta, and I guess as a co-defense coordinator in New Orleans, to what Trent Baalke told us like a week later.
Yeah.
And then the complete confusion that has happened the entire year.
I mean, I was saying throughout August, well, I mean, we're probably only going to have Ryan Nielsen like a year or two before he's the head coach.
He's going to be in the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was like, because I trusted Doug.
Yeah.
And I want to believe. That's my problem. Is I always want to believe that they have finally gotten it right. And in this case, I was certainly burned because I bought it 100%.
No doubt.
That Ryan Nielsen was going to be this massive upgrade, even though the sample size wasn't very big. And that did at first concern me. But once I started listening and seeing everything, and again, I do believe that they've got talent on the defensive side of the ball. And again, this is where now you bring Trent Baalke and his failures into it, because how could for 2 years you not find any edge presence beyond Hines, Allen, and Walker? I mean, that is
mystifying.
It really is. It's like, I don't know where it is now, but who's got the third most sacks on the roster now? It was last week, it was Ledbetter who would
Roy
finally
Robertson-Harris.
tied Roy Robertson-Harris.
Who's been gone for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how
it's really a shame.
It just wasn't a priority. And it was like, how can that possibly be? They've really been lucky that Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker have been healthy the last 2 years.
Can you imagine?
Because imagine what it would look like if they had lost one or both of them. So again, that's why it's got to be a clean sweep, because it's all failed. It is a systematic failure from roster construction to how they're employed by the coaches. It has got to be a full, clean sweep for the Jaguars to start again.
Let's get ready for our second hour. We're with you tonight until 6 o'clock. Hacker Nation in for me, 6 to 8. My name is Rick Ballou, typically with you 6 to 8 right here on the home of the Jaguars. Hayes Carline is here. JJ LaSelva is here. Frank Frangie is on vacation. But we have our second hour. If you'd like to join the conversation, the best way to get in is on the text line. 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Relive the best moments from the weekend's games.
That's what superstars do.
Post-game Monday. Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day. Brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Looking for an affordable and fast oil change? Well, Big Chief Tire has you covered. Frank Frangie here. Right now, take $10 off your next oil change at any of their 5 convenient locations. Their skilled technicians will keep your car running smoothly so you can hit the road with confidence. Whether it's routine maintenance or a more extensive service, Big Chief Tire is here to help. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and take advantage of this great deal. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Open enrollment is here, so it's time to secure health coverage for your family. Whether you need Affordable Care Act plans, dental, or Medicare, visit one of the Florida Blue pop-up enrollment tents near you. They make the process easy and stress-free, with medical and dental insurance you can count on. Plus, listen to this. Based on eligibility, many people pay absolutely nothing for coverage. Find a pop-up tent in the Rose parking lot on Beach Boulevard near Southside and at Night of Wonders at the Orange Park Mall. Here's a reminder for Florida Blue members. You can access Sanitas Medical Center with 3 locations around town offering primary care, walk-in services, an on-site pharmacy, and mental health support. 3 Sanitas Medical Centers and 2 convenient Florida Blue pop-up enrollment sites combined for a winning team in Northeast Florida insurance coverage.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just cannot say enough good things about my friends at Pella Windows and Doors. They have the highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports still has Pella rated #1 in all 3 major window categories, so why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom and be sure to ask about the latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows. That's Pella Windows and Doors on Phillips Highway, and tell them Mike sent you.
The 1010XL restaurant of the day is Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island. Enjoy Monday Night Football with $4 clay lights, and now offering full table service at Barley and Pie in Fleming Island.
Spend lunchtime with the ladies.
A meal and sparkling conversation.
Helmets and heels.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
Just behave, okay?
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans on 1010XL.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics. 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Zahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees, and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I, for one, like a sure bet. Putting my money up, knowing I'll win. That's why I bet on Awaken 180. It was a sure thing, and the results proved it to all of us. Start your new year out knowing you'll reach your goal. Awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Gators wide receiver Tremere Dike had yet another impressive game in the Gators' 33-8 victory over Tulane in the Gasparilla Bowl. DK caught 6 passes for 96 yards in Friday's win. The Wisconsin transfer had an immediate impact on the pass game this season, being a reliable target for freshman quarterback DJ Lagway to gain confidence this year. Here's DK on the Gators' success this season.
I wanted to, be a part of it and finish off the right way. I think that the adversity we went through in the beginning of the season really brought this team close, and guys like DJ are the reason that I want to play in this game, and I'm so excited for their future. Coach Napier has done a great job of leading our team, and, he's somebody that is a role model for each and every person on our team, from not only the coach he is, but the leader he is and the man he is. Obviously, I just want to go out there and play well, and I think I was able to do that, and I'm just glad we were able to win.
It's 57 degrees at 5:06. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, alongside Hayes Carline and JJ LaSelva, this is a good segue with the greatest hybrid band of all time, London, and of course, NoCal with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. Ricky Henderson's best years were in NoCal, in Oakland, and you talk about shock. When this came across over the weekend, I was startled, Hayes. Only 65 years of age, the man of steel. Can you imagine what Ricky Henderson would have been like today in the social media era? A guy who always talked in the third person, a guy who was the greatest leadoff hitter in the history of Major League Baseball. He was so fun to watch. Rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, without a doubt. And one of my favorite baseball cards that I have is his rookie card. And growing up in that era, he was one of my favorites. And you'll just never see another one like him. I mean, 1,400 steals, all the runs that he scored. He was a good player in the playoffs. I think in like 60 career playoff games, he stole 47 bases, had about that amount of runs. And obviously had underrated power and incredible power for a leadoff guy.
Oh yeah,
back then. But yeah, just very colorful as well. So yeah, it was a tragedy seeing that we lost Ricky, and again, just I don't know that we'll ever see anybody that comes close.
He would have been a great running back.
Yeah, he could have done anything.
I mean, he just looked the part. He was in fantastic shape, and he was always aloof, almost mysterious. Some of the things he said were incredibly strange. There were times where he just seemed to be absent-minded, yet in-game. I mean, his determination, man, his willingness to win. It's almost second to Pete Rose, who we just lost this year as well. Just phenomenal, Ricky Henderson. And you ask any baseball man who's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time, they're going to say Ricky Henderson. The trick question would be, He's an outfielder. If you were to rank the top outfielders of all time, Ricky Henderson may make the top 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been so many phenomenal outfielders, historically speaking. But if you ask the question, I'm putting 9 guys up, who do you want leading off? It's unanimous. It's Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, without a doubt. 10-time All-Star, MVP, 2-time World Series champion. Yeah, like we mentioned, 279 lifetime hitter, 297 career home runs, over 3,000 career hits, 1,400 steals.
2,190 walks.
Yeah, almost 2,300 runs.
2,190 walks.
Yeah.
I think only Barry Bonds has more.
Yeah, but that wasn't good enough for 28 Baseball Hall of Fame writers. Ricky Henderson got 511 of 539 ballots when he got inducted in 2009. So that's a story for another day. But yeah, just an incredible player, and like you said, just one of a kind in terms of a personality. I mean, there's the funny story about the A's having to reach out to him after about a year and say, Ricky, why haven't you cashed your $1 million signing bonus? And he had framed it. He didn't. He just didn't. He knew baseball. That's what Ricky Henderson knew, and just an incredible athlete, and like I said, just irreplaceable.
Some of the quotes that came out about Ricky after he passed were phenomenal. One was like, was it John 3:16? And he's like, no, Ricky hits 325. Right. Ricky's hitting 325. Yeah. And JJ and I were talking about it actually before he passed a couple of weeks ago, but we'll wrap it up and get back to Jaguars football. But the John Olerud story, you ever heard this one?
So funny.
It's one of the greatest of all time. I mean, Olerud, I think they met up late in their career.
They did.
With the Yankees, maybe. It might have been the New York Yankees, where, when you think of, when I think of Henderson, I think of Oakland and Toronto, right, and also New York. But I want to say it was a second stint that he might have had in the Bronx or whatever it was. Olerud joined him. When I think Olerud, I think mostly, obviously Toronto.
Yeah.
But
and Ricky Henderson was like late 30s, 40s when this took place.
Yeah. So Olerud, Ricky's saying, hey, why are you wearing the helmet? They're fielding, and John's like, well, I got this special condition, so Major League Baseball, allows me to wear a helmet even when I'm on the field. And Ricky goes like, oh, yeah. I played with a guy years ago, had the same issue in Toronto. And Olerud looks at him and says, that was me, Ricky.
It's so great. I mean, just great stuff. And you look at some of these like single seasons.
Oh, he was 130 steals one year.
My goodness!
And this is before they, all steal records now are totally fake because you can only throw over twice, and the bases are bigger and everything. So like, no one is gonna touch this. Back when they actually were allowed to throw over and try to get guys, pick guys off. So it's just phenomenal to think.
How about 146 runs in 1 year?
Yeah.
140 in 143 games.
It's unreal.
Okay, he didn't play the 162. He played the 143. He was sad news though. I mean,
it really
65
was.
years of
He's
age.
a Christmas birthday too, so he was almost getting.
He was younger than I thought he was.
Me too. Yeah. But I was stunned. I would have thought that he would have had a lot left.
I tell you what I don't like. That's the injury to Walker Little. I thought he had really performed well in his last 4 starts. Obviously, he only got 5 snaps yesterday before Cole Van Lannon replaced him. But apparently he's not going to be able to go now with a high ankle sprain. So he is out against Tennessee. I happen to be one of those guys, Hayes. I'm an every snap count guy. And even though it's Mac Jones, it's not Trevor Lawrence, and it's not September of 2025. I would still like to see Walker Little get another 130 snaps in the remainder of the year. You're only going to get better with more opportunity. Yes, he's been paid. Yes, he's entrenched fully at the left tackle position, but that also becomes a situation where you wonder, Walker Little injuries, they have come up in his career here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Cole Van Lannon stepped in, and obviously there was I guess it can't be controversial when it's 2 terrible teams playing, but you do get a holding penalty on Van Lannon on 4th and 1, and he held, but it seems like a lot of times you're not really going to see that call. But obviously it put the Jaguars in a 4th and 11, and they didn't make it. In terms of filling, we know Van Lanen is, he's not really in the plan. I mean, I think that's fair to say. I mean, he's sort of a guy who's bounced around. Javon Foster, would you like to see maybe him be active and get a chance at left tackle?
Why not? I mean, Ben, you had Cole Van Lanen and who am I thinking of on the other side, the right side? Ben Hance, Blake Hance. I would love it. Now, the one thing I've always said this, that to me, the hardest position group to try to evaluate from my perspective as someone who didn't play the game in either college or pro is offensive line. But it looked like he was really behind this year in camp. And how much has he done outside of scout work these last 15 weeks? I don't know the answer to that question, but it appears that he is the future. When you invest a draft pick like they've done in him, next year's the time that he should be able to win that swing position tackle job. Next year, he should be your third tackle. So why not get him some experience?
Yeah, that's sort of my thing. And you're not playing Trevor. So it's not like, well, we don't want to do that because the last thing we want is for our franchise quarterback to get blindsided and get an injury, this deep into what's become a meaningless season. I mean, no offense to Mac Jones, but, obviously he may not even be here.
No, he's gone.
Next year. If he is, it's because he got no other interest and signed back here for, I'd say, a fairly reasonable backup salary. So, I mean, these are the things I think you have to look at when you're an organization. It's like, all right, you've lost this poker hand. It's over. The 2024 season is over. Anything you can do to get any kind of jump start on 2025, you should do. We talked about it in terms of protecting players. I thought the cheap shot on Trevor was ridiculous. But I did think before that, look, if he's going to need surgery, have it now. Now, it ended up because of the cheap shot concussion that he had it.
I'm with you. You wanted it mid-November.
Yeah, because the season was over.
Yeah.
And it's like, why put him out there and why have him have surgery on this?
Because both are fighting for their jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're going to say play him because they know it's a better chance to win with him.
Yeah, and this is a much smaller example of that. But if Walker Little is out, I don't really need to see Cole Van Lanen for 2 games at left tackle. I mean, I just don't. You invested a 4th-round pick.
He's just the guy.
And Javon Foster. So, yeah, even if it doesn't go swimmingly well for him, well, okay, you're playing a guy at quarterback right now that probably isn't going to be on your team next year. And if he is on your team, he's certainly not your week 1 starter.
Right.
So what do you have to lose? I mean, give him, to your point, that's 125 snaps probably where you could get an evaluation. The young man could get some film and get an idea of where he stands going into an offseason where he doesn't have to worry about the draft process. He can solely lock in on how he fared and what he needs to get better at. Obviously, the scheme's going to change. We get that. But still, get him out there. Get him used to what it looks like. And so anyway, we'll see how Doug Peterson elects to go about it. I would imagine it will be Cole Van Lanen.
Yeah, because Peterson's checked out.
Right.
He's not thinking that far ahead. And that's why if you did what the Jets did when they fired Robert Saleh and they fired Joe Douglas, albeit at different times, you can have someone in the building that gets the message from the owner that says, listen, play these younger guys. Okay, let's see what they can do. You don't have that body right now in the building. And is Shad Khan or Tony Khan going to walk up to the interim head coach? I don't know if it's, McCoy, whoever, and say, play Javon Foster. My guess is Shad Khan doesn't even know who Javon Foster is.
Yeah,
he hasn't dressed once this year. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so, and that's an example where, like, if Shad Khan doesn't really know who Javon Foster is, okay, I can live with that. I mean, but I would say, like, at this point, go ahead if you're Doug and Trent and play him. But again, this goes back to Shad wouldn't even tell, and I get it. I understand his logic here, but he obviously wanted Doug Peterson to be the play caller this year. He couldn't have made that more clear. He met with reporters right around the time of the stadium deal, or it was before. It was in training camp, and he said, he referenced a article he called it the New York Times, but it was The Athletic, who is owned by the New York Times, but that Randy Mueller had written, a former GM for the Saints, who may have gotten a job, but and Mueller had written, if I was Doug Peterson and I knew, this was a big season for me in terms of if I was going to continue my employment, I would want my hand on the wheel. So, but Shad didn't want to force it, because then he felt like, well, if I make him do it and it doesn't work, then it's my fault. Then it's on me that it didn't work. So again, this is where if you had an EVP, that EVP could probably make that suggestion. Hey, we got an injury here. It's unfortunate. Our left tackle's going to miss the last 2 games. We've got a journeyman here who's not really in the plan, but we have a 4th-round guy that we've yet to see anything out of. He's yet to play an offensive snap.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you get a couple games of Javon Foster film for his sake?
Why not? And why not play some younger wide receivers? I mean, I think we've seen enough of Tim Jones, for crying out loud.
How is he still on this roster?
He's a 4-core guy.
I mean, but it's
I don't know.
This is a guy. Trevor Lawrence gets cheap shotted right in front of him. He does nothing. It's the biggest giveaway in the NFL when he's on the field on offense. They're never going to throw it to him.
No way. And you got to believe this guy was gone.
And now he can't even avoid pre-snap penalties.
He cost Thomas Jr. 30 yards yesterday. His 2 penalties were both on. The Jaguars had 4. The Raiders did not accept 4 Jaguar penalties, including 2 offside calls on Eric Armstead. I mean, you talk about an organization that's checked out. That whole thing is really interesting about Shad Khan. What it says to me is that he's anything but hands-on. You can really make the point, and we got to take a break here, but when you started to see this thing go sideways, what prevented Shad Khan from going up to Doug Peterson and saying, Doug, here's the deal. Call plays or you're fired. He owns the team. We got people driving home right now who own businesses or run businesses. If the deal isn't working, you have to make a change. It's so simple. Doug, call the plays. If not, you're gone after this game. And he refused to do it, and Doug refused to do it, and we've seen what has happened. The Jaguars have now lost 7 of their last 8, and they're 3-12 on the season.
The game where every yard counts. One player's performance stands out.
That's what you want from a leader.
Universal Roofing Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game.
Touchdown, what a throw.
On 1010XL.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a 50% bump on your first deposit. For a limited time, MyBookie will add 50% on your initial deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 1-point favorite over the Titans. The over-under is 40.5 points. Denver is a 3-point road underdog at Cincinnati. Washington, a 4-point favorite against the visiting Falcons. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a 50% bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Picking here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Hey gang, Prosser here. If you want to sell your home soon or immediately after the holidays, now is the time to get the process started and get your home sold fast, easy, and at top dollar, guaranteed with my agent Chad and Sandy Newman. Perhaps you're worried about costly repairs. Maybe you need more space with a growing family. I don't care why you need to sell your home. I do know sometimes those problems can hold you back, but not with the promises of Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts I trust and recommend. Chad and Sandy, you got this? Guarantee your home sold at agreed upon price and deadline or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. Christopher in Butler Beach on Anastasia said, I needed to sell my home and move somewhere smaller with less house to manage. It was unexpectedly very tough. My home had been listed with another agent for 388 days and failed to sell. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called amazingly multiple offers and sold in 3 days. Call Chad and Sandy today or visit them at chadandsandy.com.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
Help fight skin cancer by playing golf at the Hit 'em Straight Golf Tournament December 30th at Queens Harbor for a day of food and fun while raising money for the Melanoma Research Foundation. To sign up, call 904-507-1401.
Start your week by talking teal with Tony. Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli. Monday mornings at 7:20 with Dan and Jeff on the drill. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Hall of Fame Quality Roofing Solutions on 1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
It's the Jaguars' final home game of the 2024 regular season, and you don't want to miss it. Join us Sunday, December 29th for our fan appreciation game when the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans.
It's going to go over on down, and the Jags are going to win the ball game.
To lock in your seats for this divisional matchup, head to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there, Jags fans.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your next round of golf with us. Our welcoming atmosphere and love for golf keep our friends coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, even the great ones rest. The Blue Crab House off on Monday, but back at it tomorrow. Christmas Eve, $2 margaritas until 9 o'clock. They'll be throwing me out of there tomorrow night with this show going 4 to 6. I can get there around 7. So that'll be the case every year at the Blue Crab House for Christmas Eve. And remember, tomorrow they open at 4:30. If you're looking for that last-second Christmas gift, $50, you get a $65 gift card at the Blue Crab House right off of San Jose, located on Julington Creek Road. Ballou, Carline, and Lasoba. I tell you what's disappointing about yesterday. Outside of Brian Thomas Jr., the two guys that all of a sudden are playing really good football. Tank's been a little down lately, but certainly has had a good year. And then Brenton Strange, after a monster game 2 Sundays ago, both fumbled the football. I mean, uncalled for fumbles by 2 of your better players. The Raiders had only forced 1 fumble the entire year. They got 2 fumbles from those 2 players yesterday.
And really neither hit, I thought, was the kind that you could – I mean, you can never excuse a fumble, but sometimes the guys in this league are so good, they're so physical that sometimes it's like, okay, I can kind of see why that happened. With Tank and Brenton, it looked like it looked like there was no reason to lose the ball in either circumstance. And I do like both players moving forward. I think they've got bright futures here. But yeah, it was incredibly disappointing. I mean, in terms of, I thought Brenton Strange would, be way more involved than what he ended up being. But again, I can't fault, of all the things I fault Doug and Press over. Look, if the kid's going to fumble, then there's got to be a consequence to that. And so, but yeah, that was disappointing because I think Bigsby and Strange have, not to your point, not been the sensation, the saving grace of a terrible year like Brian Thomas Jr. has. But I do think there is, there is some productive seasons coming here with both those young guys, but certainly tough moments for him yesterday.
Been a rough year for ETN, no doubt about that. And that's going to be another very difficult decision that this organization is going to have to make with Evan Ingram. I mean, he's 30. He's played really well for this team, but all of a sudden injuries have begun to flare up on him. And if Brenton Strange is a guy that can do that for you, again, when you look at Ingram's contract, it may make sense to be a post-June 1st cut. I thought the same thing last year with Zay Jones, and they didn't do it prior to June 1st. But there's really 3 options with Evan Ingram. You can Christian Kirk him and have him play out the year with the enormous figure, say goodbye to him, or restructure it knowing it's probably a 3-year deal where he plays 2 of those seasons for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you look at this franchise moving forward in terms of cap and things like that. And they're not in bad shape, but we're used to seeing guys get released for cap savings. And really the only 2 guys that they can do that with are 2 guys that I still think have value. Normally you're doing that with guys that you're ready to move on from. I mean, it's addition by subtraction, but I wouldn't put Evan or Christian Kirk in that category. I think they're still good players, but those are really the only 2. I mean, Christian Kirk you can release and save $10.8 million. Evan Ingram you can release and save $6.25. I mean, everybody else, if you decide to move on from them, you're not getting any relief.
No.
If you cut Eric Armstead, it's only going to hurt you financially more than help you. And same, with Gabe Davis, Foye Oluokun, Devon Hamilton, like those guys, financially, you're better off keeping them than you would be to move on from them. I'm not saying they should move on from them. I'm just giving you examples of guys that are not necessarily in that core. They're not in the Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, Tyson Campbell, Walker Little, Anton Harrison, Brian Thomas Jr. group. They're more on the secondary level. Depending on who's making the decisions, again, not that they have to create a bunch, but if that's something a new general manager would like to do, it's going to be hard to do that. Because if I was them, I would keep Christian Kirk. I would keep Evan Ingram. Again, I just think they need a change in attitude, and they do need some better roster building that we talked about. They need to supplement the edge. Obviously, you got to get better in the interior on both sides of the ball. But I think it's more of a tweak here than it is a complete overhaul of what they need to be doing.
Yeah, I would disagree on the Kirk deal only because he can't stay healthy. And that's been something that has been ongoing for him. So to me, that is a little bit of a concern. But, this organization, we don't know who's going to call the shots. They have a ton of money. They're going to have great draft capital. Right now, they would draft 3rd in the NFL draft, which is 122 days away. Obviously, that's going to change when they match up here against Tennessee on Sunday. Jacksonville is a 1-point favorite, and the total is 40 for that matchup. But this is what is so important is It's going to be year 5 for Trevor. Okay? And it wasn't a good year. And I think we've seen more Lawrence apologists pop up after you witnessed what Mac Jones has done. I haven't given up on Trevor Lawrence, but the coaching hire is going to have to be the most important hire that this organization has ever made because you just invested the enormous amount of money into Trevor Lawrence. You have got to find the right guy. Credit Trevor, he said nothing negative at all with the Urban Meyer debacle. We're all under the assumption, some of it sourced, that Trevor doesn't see eye to eye with Peterson. Peterson doesn't see eye to eye with Trevor. Regardless of what's gone on there, that ends. You've got, whether it's Ben Johnson or someone else, they have got to find. The most important part of the interview for me, Hayes, is to find a guy who can sit with Shad Khan and say, I can make Trevor Lawrence a Super Bowl winning coach. If my guy comes in or any guy, I watched Trevor on tape and I don't like it. No. You've invested the money. The attitude has to be, I can make Trevor Lawrence a Super Bowl winning coach. That is the guy you have to hire.
Without a doubt. I mean, you need to find the kind of coach like the Chargers did with Jim Harbaugh, who gushes about Justin Herbert at every turn, and really did before they even played a game together. It's only gotten more pronounced as their season's gone on, and they've had success.
How cool was his speech 2 days ago?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and you can tell, and I think Herbert needed that. He needed to know his head coach was fully behind him. And, and so I completely agree. Anybody that they're going to interview here has got to believe that Trevor Lawrence is not only the answer, but somebody that can play at a star level. Again, I think in looking at it, they need a coach that not only can enhance the scheme that Trevor Lawrence is operating in, the offense, because it is such a remedial scheme now that really hasn't evolved by Doug's own admission since 2017.
Doug fires himself every week.
Yeah, what I would say to that is obviously he's really close with Andy Reid. I mean, I thought it was sort of laughable, but like draft night, the second night, they take Mason Smith, and the Jaguars release a video of documenting the draft a month later or whatever. So they make the pick on Mason Smith, and Trent Baalke shows Doug a text that he got from somebody, one of his colleagues, and he's like, hey, and then Doug's like, oh, Andy Reid, it's a great pick, but Andy Reid changes his offense. What the Chiefs are running is very different than what they were doing in 2017. Andy Reid has evolved because he understands that the league evolves.
Yeah.
It evolves every year. You can't continue to do the same stuff.
No.
They will eat you alive. And so I do think that the scheme can certainly benefit Trevor Lawrence. But the other thing is they need a coach that can be honest with Shad about Trevor is very elementary in his instincts for the position. And that's got to be a real focus for us. Like in OTAs and in training camp, we need to do a lot of situational stuff with Trevor to rep it, because it's clear from his high school days and his college days, he wasn't put in a lot of situations where he had to think quickly in game management situations, and the Jaguars have paid the price for it.
Right.
All the mistakes have happened at the highest level of football. Well,
it's too easy for him. He won all the time.
And that almost never happens.
Right.
I mean, so getting Trevor to play with more instincts, and I do think that you can coach that. I do think that's something that can be improved. You'd love for the player to just naturally have it and have that feel, but Trevor doesn't. His football IQ, I don't think, is very high. It doesn't mean he works hard. He's obviously incredibly talented, but the game doesn't come as easy for him as it might for others that are or the other 31 guys that are starting quarterbacks in this league. So that is something that I think the new head coach has to really dig deep on, is getting Trevor to be more cerebral in his approach to the game. He's got the physical tools. And if Trevor Lawrence can start diagnosing what a defense is doing and being able to be a smart player pre-snap, that among every of all the other things, if Trevor Lawrence can start to harness that, he can still be, I don't know about superstar. Superstar for me might be off the table with Trevor Lawrence. But I do think he can be a top quadrant quarterback in this league. I think he can be a guy that is 5th, 6th, 7th, when you rank these guys. And if he gets to that, the Jaguars can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He does not have to be the first, second, or third best quarterback for this organization to have success that it's never had before. But to me, it's unlocking the instincts and getting him more curious about how the sport works, how offense works. And that is something that I think will be paramount for the next head coach in unlocking Trevor Lawrence to his full extent.
Yeah, the confidence has waned a little bit, in my opinion, over the last 2 years. He has not progressed the way that he has wanted to, or that I think Jaguar fans have wanted him to. Now, he's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's also dealt with a very suspect offensive line. And, I'm starting to get a little stir crazy here with all of the projections and all of the mocks. And again, it's defense. The Jaguars need a corner. The Jaguars need an interior defense. I get it. They do. But I've always maintained this. Every team is flawed. No, there's not a team that's perfect. That offense right now in Kansas City doesn't have the weaponry around Patrick Mahomes that it once had. Jacksonville has to fix their offense first, and they have a good starting point. You have 2 tackles. You have 2 backs. You may have 2 tight ends if you keep Ingram. You have a 1 and a 3 with Parker in the slot. You need a number 2 wide receiver. That interior offensive line, as far as run blocking, is really weak. It's actually been a pretty good year pass protection-wise. But Brandon Sheriff is done. Mitch Morris had 2 penalties yesterday. You got 1 year remaining in him. My focus is the best offensive line that you can possibly put together. And people I like, people I respect who cover this team, it's like, oh, no, go out and get a corner. Oh, no, go out and get it. And I'm like, okay, well, you got $50 million. You got good draft picks. You also got to get some interior offensive linemen here. Now, you've got to put together the best offensive line that you possibly can. And they haven't done that. This has been continuously problematic. And to me, that is the biggest focus. Offensive line. Instead of losing games 19-14 and 10-7 and 12-7 and 10-6, I mean, look at the scores lately. I'd rather have them lose the game 32-25, where their defense gives up 25 points in the second half. You say, okay, the defense needs to be fixed, but at least you're scoring. I don't think you can fix it all. And when you have the quarterback, I want to fix the offense first.
Yeah, and again, I think in terms of that first-round pick, it's probably not going to line up to be. And, I mean, again, that's
a guard with the 3rd pick overall.
Yeah, that's why the Walker Little thing kind of surprised me. Because you're right. Now that you've made that move, you kind of know who your tackles are, and But
it wasn't a strong free agency.
Yeah,
tackle class. So it was the draft or nothing.
Yeah, and so I think in looking at it, you probably are looking at a corner, maybe a defensive tackle to pair with Mason Smith. I'd have no problem with that. But look, I mean, they're well armed. They've got 10 picks. They've got obviously it looks like the second rounder is going to be a very high selection, maybe in the top 35.
Oh yeah,
something like that. So that's prime. I mean, you can get a right guard at pick 35.
Absolutely, you can.
That is an absolute stud.
No question. And that's my point. I'm not saying with the 3rd or 4th pick you get a guard.
Right.
But with the 35th pick, instead of getting a corner and a defensive tackle, you got to get a corner and a right guard.
Yes. And then you've got 2 3s and you've got 2 4s. So, yeah, I think you'd love to see at least 2 of those selections be a center and a guard.
Yeah.
They've got the ability to do it, and that's exciting. I mean, again, my guess is by the time we get to training camp in July 25th of 2025, I'm gonna like what I see, and I'm gonna think on paper.
Oh, Bucky's a wizard. He's gonna put this thing together.
Yeah,
just give him an opportunity.
But I mean, they have the opportunity to fix. If your biggest problem is interior offensive line and and find, again, Mason Smith, the jury's out. But I like what I see. I think he's got a chance. And, and so if you're able to do that, again, you talk about the core of a football team. Obviously, it starts at quarterback. They have that. You go to receivers. They certainly have a potential superstar in Brian Thomas Jr. You look at your edge. You've got Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. You look at corner. You've got Tyson Campbell, who, I think if you had Travis Hunter, Tyson Campbell would be better, or maybe Will Johnson. I think if Tyson Campbell is your second guy, you have something really potentially special. A lot of the core guys, we talked about offensive tackle. You've got your guys there. You're not that far away, but it all starts with an edge. They need to bring back an edge, and they do need to bring a general manager in that can evaluate this and make a couple of changes here and there. They're not that far away. What they've done this year is completely inexcusable. No. Shad Khan is paying $84 million per victory on this pace because they're paying out $252 million in player salary. That's before he pays a coach. $252 million for 3 wins. $84 million per victory. It's a complete joke what this has turned into. They're way more talented than a team that should be sitting on 3 wins.
And I hope they don't get another win, because if the top 2 teams can bring in the quarterback and Travis Hunter is there at 3, can you imagine what will happen in this city if you draft Travis Hunter?
Absolutely.
Just
one of the most exciting players to arrive here in years.
Got to take a break. Can't wait for Trent Baalke to use him as a free safety.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NFL on Christmas Day, 2 games on the schedule in Pittsburgh. The Steelers will take on Kansas City. Pittsburgh suffering back-to-back losses, losing both to Philadelphia and Baltimore. Kansas City 14-1, and 10 of those wins have come by single digits. The Chiefs are a 2.5-point favorite against the Steelers on the road, minus 130 on the money line. Pittsburgh plus 110 with the over-under total of 43.5. Second game, Baltimore at Houston. The Ravens a 3.5-point favorite, minus 175 on the money line. The Texans are plus 150 with the over-under at Energy Stadium, 47.5. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a septic tank emergency.
Don't let your holidays go down the drain. Duck Duck Rooter's here to save your Christmas cheer. Whether it's a stubborn clog, a burst pipe, or a septic scare, we'll fix it faster than Santa can slide down a chimney. Duck Duck Rooter. Call us now and save the day. 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, because nobody wants a silent night in the bathroom.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
It's holiday season, and Nimnick Chevrolet is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us because there's nobody but Nimnick. Now, that red tag sales event is back at Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. And unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck at Nimnick. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the distance. The Silverado EV boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor. And oh, by the way, ask about 0% financing and $7,500 instant cash savings on EVs. Remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade. So if you're looking for a great place to shop over this holiday season, there's only one answer: Nimnick. because there's nobody but Nimnik.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hey, folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
When were the St. Johns River jetties built? The answer next.
There's always a good reason to compare homeowners' insurance rates. You may be paying too much. Protect your home with a Southern Oak insurance policy today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Congress approved plans to build the jetties in 1879, and construction was from 1880 to 1885.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Ride the hurricane wave as the storm brews in South Beach.
Keeping you closer to the U with news and notes from the orange and green on the Hurricane Report on 1010XL.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Holidays are here, and if you're in need of extra cash, Beaches Jewelry and Pawn can help. Gold is at record highs. It's a great time to sell. Bring in your gold for an estimate today. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I, for one, like a sure bet. Putting my money up, knowing I'll win. That's why I bet on Awaken 180. It was a sure thing, and the results proved it to all of us. Start your new year out knowing you'll reach your goal. Awaken180weightloss.com.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Rookie phenom Brian Thomas Jr. had another amazing performance in Sunday's loss to the Raiders as he completed his third franchise rookie receiving record. As yesterday, he set the record for receptions by a Jaguars rookie with 73. Here's the Jaguars superstar on how he feels after breaking the record.
The individual things are all cool and all. It's a great accomplishment. It's team accolades override individual accolades for me. So, it would have been better if we would have been able to come out and get the win. But, you have to take the personal accolades and just, you still have to have something to be proud about at the end of the day. Like I said, team accolades override personal accolades for me.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, the big news today, Walker Little out this weekend against Tennessee. He has a high ankle sprain. Also, Darnell Savage in the concussion protocol. Ventrell Miller, who also didn't return with a high ankle sprain.
Into the night.
He is listed as day to day. Doug Peterson did have good things to say about Jarian Jones, Tyson Campbell, and Anton Harrison as far as playing coming up on Sunday. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Look forward to tomorrow.
We're going to do it again tomorrow, 4 to 6. Frenchie's on vacation, so Ballou in 4 to 6 with Carline and La Selva on Tuesday. Then we're off Wednesday and Thursday and back with you Friday to preview, obviously, the weekend. Folks, have a great night. Hackers coming in on my slot right now. Hacker Nation is next. Have a great night. We'll talk with you tomorrow, 4 until 6.
Even the best teams can lose steam when their best players end up on the sidelines.
In case you haven't noticed, our receiver corps is decimated.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update.
Jacksonville. It's part of the game, though, you know?
On 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline from MyBookie. Find your holiday season stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a 50% bump on your first deposit. For a limited time, MyBookie will add 50% to your initial deposit.